Here's lesson 6.8. First thing it says to write an equation for each relationship. So for A banquet hall charges $3,000 for the hall rental and $62 per person for dinner. So, let's see. So that would mean our total cost will be 62 times, I'll put N, the number of people, plus 3,000. So that would be our equation for the first one. Next one, cost will equal 29 for the times the number of guests plus 270. Total cost per party. So we can see here, now we have a graph, not a worded answer here. So we can see each is 200. Each dash is 200. So we know it starts at 200 here. So let's put cost equals, we know at the end it's going to be plus 200. So that's our initial value. Now we have to see, okay, how much is it going up by? So for 30 people, it went up to, well, this is kind of a hard one to see, but for 60 people, we'll pick one that's like even with the grid lines, right? So 60, and it went up from 200 to 800. So what's the difference? It went up by 600. This went up by 60. So that's 10 per person. So 10 N. So 10 times the number of people, or the number of guests, plus 200. Okay, so that would be for this one. And D. So our cost will be, we can see, okay, at 0 scoops, it's $1.25. So that's going to be our initial value. How much is it increasing by? 75 cents. So 0.75 times the number of scoops plus $1.25. So these are our equations for this. So that's kind of like a warm-up. Now we're on to something different. This is the actual lesson. So what this is doing, it's giving us a graph or a chart. It's giving us only the diameter. It's giving us basically our y value, our dependent variable. We have to find our height of our trees here. Okay, so it gives us our equation. So our diameter equals 10 times the height minus 50. So usually they would give us our height and our diameter, and then we would solve it. But here we need to find out what our diameter is. So the way we would do that, we substitute this kind of goes back to our first unit we did, but we have to substitute our d value in and then solve for h. So that's what I did. I substituted a d value in for our d in the equation. So 5 is our diameter, and then I solved it like how we would have done in our first unit. Okay, so I need to get this 50 to the other side. How do we get, if we change size, we change sign, so it moves to the other side. Now it's plus 50. 5 plus 50 is 55, equals 10 times age. What's the opposite? 10 times age is divided by 10. So, if we did this divided by 10, it would cancel out, right? So now we're left with 55 divided by 10 is height. So 55 divided by 10 is 5.5. So that's our height here. So we just do this for all of them. So what's our diameter? We have to substitute 25 in this time. 25 equals 10 times the height minus 50. We do the same thing. We got to get that 50 to the other side. So it'll be plus 50 equals 10 times h. So it'll be 25 plus 50 is 75. We'll divide by 10 both sides, which is so then we would get our height is 7.5. And for the last one, here we have our diameter is 35, so I'll do it down here, 35. Same steps, 35 equals 10h, take away 50, get this 50 to the other side, 35 plus 50 equals 10 times h, which is 85, 10h, divide both sides by 10. We would get, here we get, our height is 8.5 meters. So, this would be our values. That's all I wanted us to find. That's how you do it. It goes back to our algebra in the first unit. Okay, so problem 2. Janice is a piano teacher. Her earnings are based on a merit pay of $50 per week from her employer for excellence, plus $25 per hour of instruction. How long does she need to work to earn at least $750? So, here we go. We have the printer kind of messed up the printing here. So, let's see here. Time worked. $50 is basically the initial, right? And then 25 per hour, so we have to add 25 each time. Okay, so let's see here. Right, we added 25 more per hour. Our initial value is 50. Our rate of change is 25. Write an equation for earnings. So our earnings equal 25 times the amount of hours plus 50. Okay, now we have to use our equation to determine, okay, how long will it take or how many hours to make $750. So we put 750 and subs it in for E. And follow the same steps as before. Now look, we have a plus 50, so we're going to take away from the other side. So 750 minus 50, right? Switch sides, switch signs, equals 25 times H. 750 minus 50 is 700. 25 times H, so we have to divide both sides by 25. I don't have my calculator, so 28. 700 divided by 25 is going to be 28. So, how many hours does she have to work? She has to work 28 hours to earn $750. Okay? A particular plant grows at a rate of 40 centimeters per day. If the initial height of the plant is 30 centimeters, how long does it take for the plant to grow to 190 centimeters? Okay, so we have to write an equation. So we can say the height equals 40 times the amount of days plus 30, since that's the initial, right? Initial height. So now we have to find out how long to grow 190 centimeters. So instead of H, we're going to put 190 like we did before and solve for the amount of days, which is D in this instance. So we do 190 equals, then we write the rest of our equation, 40 D plus 30. Okay, so now we follow the same steps. And the reason we always, do the addition or subtraction first, because we want to first isolate the term, which in this case it's 40D, and then isolate the variable, which is D. Okay, so take away 30 from both sides, so it's going to be minus 30. Now switch sides, switch signs. 190 minus 30 is 160. I just divide by 40 to get rid of that 40 there. 160 divided by 40 is 4. So it will take 4 days. Okay, so I would write that down. It would take 4 days for it to grow to 190 centimeters. But I'm not going to waste time doing that right now. So Samantha has $1,970 in her bank account. She withdraws $45 every week. When will her balance be? $1,205. So following the same steps here, I substitute the value we want with our equation here. So what we have to do now is, it's written kind of differently because this is usually ours where like the numbers are increasing. Okay, it's growing per day. Okay, this is taking away, so you need to move this to the other side. So remember, switch sides, switch signs. So now it's going to be minus 1,970, and this stays as a negative 45. We did it, and the W is for weeks. We don't change the negative. We don't take that out of there yet. Okay, now we subtract. So once we do this, it'll become negative 765. So Now we need to isolate our variable, which is w. So we divide both sides by negative 45. And you probably say, okay, we got negatives in here. It might mess up our answer. No. If you do a negative divided by negative, it becomes positive. So negative 765 divided by negative 45 should be 17. These cancel out here. And we're left with w. So it'll take 17 weeks to reach that number. Okay, that's lesson 6.8.